Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena Mana Burn. This is the series where we play degenerate, weird combo decks that have no right in actually working, but somehow magically do. And today is going to be an idea that was submitted to me by Asthmatic Dragon, actually, who took the idea from an Ali Eldrazi deck, but changed it up. And I have since changed it as well, so it has been changed 3 times since its original form. What we're going to be playing is an Omniscience combo list. So it's built around the card Omniscience, of course. You may cast spells from your hand without paying their mana costs. And we're going to win using Thousand Year Storm in conjunction with things like Overflowing Insight and several pieces out of our sideboard. Overflowing Insight saying you draw 7 cards, and Thousand Year Storm saying whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, you copy it for each other instant or sorcery spell you've cast before it this turn. So if Overflowing Insight is the second card we've cast during the turn, then we get to draw 14 cards. So basically we're going to draw our entire deck, use Mastermind's Acquisition to find the pieces we need, either by searching our deck for pieces like Omniscience or Thousand Year Storm if we need to go into the main for it, or the sideboard as well, which also includes Thousand Year Storm, as well as a lot of other little pieces. We have some things to shut off our opponent from doing things. We have the Immortal Sun to kill Planeswalkers, essentially. Inescapable Blaze is another way that we can win the game. Basically, the sideboard is just a how do you want to win the game little collection here. So we have a few little pieces here and there that just help us win through attrition. Immortal Sun being one of them, shutting off Planeswalkers. Star, killing all creatures and Planeswalkers, if that's relevant. The Elder Spells in here as well to, again, cheaply kill all of the creatures if 7 mana, or we don't have the double red. If that's too much for us, we can do that. Mirari Conjecture gets back all of our stuff. And Chance for Glory allows us to take an additional turn if we should need it to go off. Unmoored Ego is another one that we can combo with Thousand Year Storm. We get to choose a card name and then search our opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for that card and remove up to 4 cards with that name. So if we copy enough times, then Thousand Year Storm will have several copies of Unmoored Ego, and we can name all of our opponent's win cons. So even if we don't mill them using Unmoored Ego, we can basically make it so that they can't actually win. Recollect gets all of our pieces back from our graveyard if they should kill both Omniscience or make us discard them. But yeah, other than that though, the deck pretty much speaks for itself. We have a ramp package in Chromatic Lantern to give us all 5 colours of mana. Gift of Paradise to do pretty much the same, but also gains life against aggro matchups. We stick that on a land and it adds 2 mana of any colour. Gilded Lotus as a 2-of, which adds 3 mana. Very nice on 5 to go Gilded Lotus into Chromatic Lantern or Gift of Paradise. Then you ramp yourself up 4 on turn 5, which pretty much sets up all of your top end. And then the rest of it is card draw, 4 Chemist of Insight, and 4 Discovery Dispersal, running 4 board wipes to stay alive, as well as Teferi Time Raveler, in order to prevent us from being susceptible to a horrendous amount of counter spells. The minus is also pretty nice at stabilizing and nice tempo swing. There's a reason why he's being played, because pretty much everything on this card is broken. But yeah, that's going to be the deck. The mana base is all over the place, but we've got all of our basics just in case our opponents are playing Field of Ruins. They can't actually mana screw us or strip miners in this particular case. But yeah, should mention before we get into the games that the first matchup is actually with a slightly altered version of this deck. So there are a few cards in here that are not in the final list, but I figured that this game was too much of a doozy to leave out, so I really hope you enjoy that little bit of a bonus video. Hope you guys enjoy the deck. We're going to get into the matchups without further ado. I hope you all enjoy, and before we do, make sure to hit that like button if you do enjoy this deck. It does help out the channel a great deal, and subscribe, of course, for more mana burn. So let's get into the game, shall we? And I'll see you there. Okay, we have a 2-lander, but we do have Gift of Paradise to ramp, Discovery to find us the 3rd land for Gift, and we have our Omniscience, and even a Masterminds. I think this hand is probably about as good as it possibly could be, to be honest. Ooh, even a Chromatic Lantern. That's not too bad. All colours of mana now. Are we up against the Gruul aggro list? I'm not sure actually, I don't remember how many mana dorks it runs, but it does kind of look like that deck to me. So I would like to find board wipes, to be honest. We're going to be using Chromatic Lantern next turn, so I'm going to bin this one, draw the land, So we have a third land drop for the turn, because we can't really afford to not make our land drops, since we're trying to get Omniscience into play. Our opponent has Nissa.
Cannot protect itself.
Okay. We might be able to wipe all of their lands if we get what we need. Oh boy. Yeah, it's gonna hurt, but we could probably just wipe out all the lands in their deck. So Chromatic Lantern opens up Kaya's Wrath next turn. So that's pretty sweet. So if they tick up, yeah, ticking up on Stomping Ground and committing a Druid. Oh, this is gonna really hurt. It probably won't for a long, won't hurt for too long, since they do have a Nissa ult soon enough. Just getting in with the lands. Oh, they please commit more to this board. Please commit more. Oh, there it is. Oh boy. Okay, well, get Wrathed, I guess. Yeah, let's Wrath. Oh, nice, clean board for now, anyway. I need like an answer to Nissa, which unfortunately I'm not going to be able to get. We could do Gilded Lotus into Gift of Paradise. That gets me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm close to Omniscience at that point. We can then 1,000 Year Storm into Mastermind's Acquisition to get some good stuff. So my opponent does get to ult and they get all of their lands out of their deck. It's gonna suck a little bit, but I think we're almost exactly where we need to be anyway. They found their land. And they're going to go for the Greedinesser. Can I punish the Greedinesser? 4 mana, 2, 3... I can't I? I can go into the sideboard for answers to Nissa. Oh, actually, I could get Dispersal from my main, I think? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Yeah, Dispersal from my main does it as well. Might as well just go into the main, right? So, sideboard, grab Dispersal, and clean it up. Each opponent returns the non-land with the highest converted mana cost and then discards a card. Nice 3/3. Oh, brilliant. Cleanish sweep. Love it. Okay, an all-check land hand, but we do have the colours we need, so I'm gonna take it. Shock land at any point, though, would be lovely. Or an untapped land anyway, so we can play Chromatic Lantern. Okay, Hinterland Harbour go. Got Chemisters to refuel. And there's our white land, so our check lands are coming into play untapped. Good stuff. Ask and you shall receive. So, I think we go with the Chromatic Lantern. Against them on a black deck, the only way they can deal with Lantern is by discarding it out of our hands, so I think I'd rather fix my mana that way. And could do Gift of Paradise to ramp, but then we don't have enough to Chemisters, so I think I'll just Chemisters. Just gonna do it now, because I can. I don't think there's any downside, to be honest, for that kind of thing. Ooh, Vraska. Minus on the Lantern.
Time to step out of the shadows.
Sure.
Don't flatter yourself.
But our mana is fixed at this point, so it really doesn't matter too much to me. Let's just play Sun Petal Grove, Gift of Paradise. Pass the turn. Getting gift down as soon as possible, because Vraska can also minus on the gifts. So I'd rather have extra mana for later. Just until It doesn't matter anymore. Arboreal Grazer with no lands in hand, so all gas for our opponent.
For a lie.
Now they could have a land. But they're a little bit pinched on green right now, which is fantastic for us. Alright, now I have Overflowing Insight, so we got 7 mana in total, good to know. I do want 10 mana, so I don't think I'm going to fire off that Insight just yet. I think I'll do Chemist's Insight. Leaves us with 3 mana for potentially a Gift of Paradise. It doesn't really matter the mana that's untapped. Gift of Paradise or Chromatic Lantern would be nice. We got our land, so we're up to 8 mana now. When we're on 9, I'll Mastermind's Acquisition for Omniscience. And just basically hope that our opponent doesn't have Casualties of War in their deck.
Pain is weakness, leaving the body.
That's a thing, I suppose. Why is everyone playing Casualties of War these days? Baffles me. This can hit artifacts as well, can't it? Yep. So Immortal Sun on Vraska's not going to work for us. Or anything like that. I think I'll just Chemisters, discard one of these many board wipes. Keep working our way naturally up to Omniscience, I guess, at this point. So I imagine our lands are going to die again. Liliana. Alright, that puts us on a clock.
If I were you, I'd an unfortunate casualty.
Sacks and draws 2.
They were a lousy servant anyway.
There's Chromatic Lantern. So I'm going to go into my sideboard because I'm pretty sure I have an Immortal Sun in here, and I do. Anything else that I'd want instead? I could pinch their green mana by using Star of Extinction instead. Also kills the token that they generate from Liliana at the same time. But I do like Immortal Sun. Anything in my graveyard I'd want to pull back? Not particularly. Casualties of War is a big blowout, which is what makes me think I should probably go for Star instead. We don't actually have Gift of Paradise in play though, so I'd have to drop Chromatic Lantern first. So I think I'll actually go with the Immortal Sun. Land drop means I can do Immortal Sun into Chromatic Lantern because of the cost reduction. Golgari Super Friends. Floats 1.
Be wary of the ground.
What are you doing when you're floating mana? Just showing off, or have you got something to do? 2 black mana actually, if the Elder Spell on their Liliana, that just loses the game. I think they've got Elder Spell. God damn it. Oh my god.
Listen to my symphony of
Okay, we're in. We don't have any blue mana, but we can still cast Discovery Dispersal looking for it. We also need green mana as well. We can take this. The problem's solved immediately by finding Chromatic Lantern and things like that, so I'm just going to take it. We should be all good. Oh, red. Red Gobbo. We'll see. We got the Chromatic Lantern. Okay. We're going to need all of our board wipes. Let's go find them. Ooh, lands. Lands. I'm going to take the Sun Petal Grove, but not... Oh, actually, I really need the Hintland Harbour as well, kind of. The Sun Petal Grove comes into play on tap, but the Harbour doesn't. But we do have the Chromatic Lantern. I just want protection from being destroyed by artifact removal, essentially. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Next turn we go Grove into Lantern. Turn after that, gain 3 life off Gift of Paradise. It's a red-black aggro list. Okay, no Judith, please. So, Sun Petal Grove, Chromatic Lantern. Say go. The This doesn't have any value from dying, so we're all good there. Has unblockable. Sure. That's a 3-3. Alright, we're gonna really... 3, 4, 5, 6. Go down to 4. Could die next turn. We need 9. If they've got Judith, they take us to 1. Otherwise, we could be okay. I think we're just gonna die, though. Could acquisition for... I think we'll acquisition for Cleansing Nova, because we're going to need to do it. So let's get Nova. Temple Garden. Because if we get... maybe we should have gotten Settle the Wreckage, actually, in case they do have Judith. So if they have Judith, we're going to take damage from them all dying. But I think if they've got Judith, we're going to lose. I don't think there's any ifs or buts about it, to be honest. Pilfering him. Gonna take a big hit. And a Footlight Fiend. Alright, that's gonna hit us for 1 as well. So we go down to 2 effectively here. Okay. So, Glacial Fortress can go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. If we had a 4-drop wipe, we'd be okay. We just have to hope our opponent doesn't have a hasty creature here. If they do, we lose. Simple as. But we've got 1 card in their hand and 1 top deck. We also need to avoid burn as well. Hasty creature or burn. All do it. Well, we go to 1. Which is not dead. And what's next? Reveler. Okay. Draws a card. Oh, this is getting close. Okay, Gift of Paradise. Go up to 4. Let's... Chemist's Insight. Draw some cards. Get some more gifts. I like gifts. We're going down to 1 again, though. So, again, we're on Hasty Creature or Burn Spell or Die territory. We've got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're 2 turns off of being able to... Oh, no, there we're dead. 2 turns off of being able to play Omniscience. Actually, it would be 1 turn because we'd be playing Gift of Paradise. Close, but no cigar. Alright, next game. Okay, we're in, and we got 3 lands. Work our way up to Masterminds and Gilded Lotus. It's not fantastic, but I think we can keep this hand. We're playing a deck that doesn't exactly have fantastic draws ever, so we'll take what we can get. This one doesn't look garbage. It's about as close as you can get to being pretty good. Alright, that's not bad. Ground Catacomb, go. That sets us up 4 mana for the Masterminds acquisition if we need it. And our opponent probably playing Grixis with the Augur of Bolas. Lightning Strike. Cool. Alright, this is where we'd love a Chromatic Lantern just for the extra bit of ramp, but beggars can't be choosers. Or even a Gift of Paradise would also work. So, Grixis doesn't actually run Counter Magic, I don't believe. Unless this is just It with Augur of Bolas. I've not really seen Augur outside of a Grixis deck though, but there's no reason why it couldn't be, I suppose. Let's do Hinterland Harbour. And what do we Masterminds for, if anything? We're going to be playing Gilded Lotus next turn. So I would have 3 mana spare. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I could almost set up Omniscience. Get very close. I could just search for it, but I might just naturally draw it. I do think I need to do something here, though. They could have a negate, but I think I have to play those odds nonetheless and go for something. I think I go for a ramp spell. Mastermind's Acquisition into the main. Opponent opts. Okay. And could get 1,000 Year Storm. That's not the worst. Make that work. Opponent can't really deal with it. But I also like Chromatic Lantern. No, I think I'll go Chromatic Lantern. Let's get ramping. I'm gonna go up 4 mana next turn. Potentially, anyway. If they've got counter magic, then sure. Kefnet. Well, they don't, so that's pretty good. Alright, this comes into play untapped, so we go Gilded Lotus into Chromatic Lantern. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana. Draw Omniscience off the top, we just win. Well, we pretty much just win. It's not set in stone, I suppose. Alright, Chart Course, sticking Shock into the yard. So yeah, this is kind of a spell slinging deck, it's not actually Grixis. And the Chart Course, digging potentially for negates, I guess. Do we go Overflowing Insight on ourselves? Is that better than Acquisition for Omniscience? Teferi Time Raveler. Not entirely necessary. We could Insight ourselves. Does it leave us with any mana? Leaves us with 2 mana. 3 mana total for Teferi, so we could bounce Kefnet and slow them down, drawing a card. Acquisition leaves us with 3 for 5 mana. There's nothing on 5. Oh, actually, we could get 1,000 Year Storm with Acquisition then and cast that. We can't really trigger it though. I guess we just go for Omniscience. Let's grab Omniscience. And set up potentially the win next turn. To 4. Dies to a double attack. So I could just do destroy all creatures right now. Be mana efficient with it. And then Overgrown Tomb tapped, pass the turn. Gotta watch my timers. Alright, Chart Course. This should hopefully encourage them to just tap out completely, and then we can slap down Omniscience and win. There we go. Alright. So, Omniscience. Teferi, for free. Bounce, Kefnet, draw a card. 1,000 Year Storm, oh my god. Okay, for free. Chemisters, for free. Chromatic Lantern, for free. Might as well play some Pelgrove, doesn't really matter. Draw 14 cards. We're doing it! We're doing it! No Mastermind's Acquisitions, eh? Well, Gift of Paradise on here. Gift of Paradise on here. And might as well play the other Omniscience, I think. The only reason we would want to keep it is for enchantment removal, and that's not really a thing. Let's do Chemist's Insight. Actually, let's do Discovery first. This one. Don't want those, don't want those. I want all the Mastermind's Acquisitions in my deck. Don't want those, don't want those. 23 cards. Chromatic Lantern. Okay, that's ramp. Another overflowing insight. I could take that as a win con, which I'm happy to do. Let's Chemisters for free. Don't want to mill myself, so I've got to be really careful with this. Alright, Masterminds into the sideboard. Grab 1,000-Year Storm. Grab 1,000-Year Storm. Grab Star of Extinction. Grab Unmoored Ego. Grab Mirage Conjecture, I guess. And star all of your lands. This is just BM at this point, unfortunately. It has to happen. I must do it. Alright. All your lands are dead. Goodbye, Teferi.
Should have seen that coming.
Don't need you anymore. You're there for the uncounterability. I like how they've gotten rid of the repeated animation, at least to a certain extent. Alright, 1,000-Year Storm for free. 1,000-Year Storm for free. And overflowing insight. You. Yeah, I want my opponent. Draw many cards. You. Yes. You. Yes. You. Yes. You. Yes. You. Yes. Keep going. Alright, my opponent draws 1,000,000 cards. We say good game while we can't accidentally misclick on ourselves to draw too many cards. No lands, no cards. I could also do Unmoored Ego and name everything in their deck, which is another alternative win con. And yep, the next one mills them out. Clean sweep. Wicked. That's what I wanted to do. Yes! Love it. Okay, 3 mana, Teferi, Gift of Paradise. Yep, let's keep this one. We've even got a board wipe. I like it. And double black comes off the Gift of Paradise as well. Temple Garden tapped allows Glacial Fortress and Sunpetal Grove to come into play untapped. Opponent with the Evolving Wilds. I can't wait for new Evolving Wilds art, by the way, because it doesn't look like a load of discs in the middle of a wilderness. God, I hate this art. It's so bad. I think we get classic Evolving Wilds art, so I'm going to be excited for that. Little things, you know? So usually, if we're getting tap lands like that, it's going to be a control deck and blue coming out, making it obvious. I'm going to save Teferi because we might have something to bounce, otherwise I'm just going to be minusing it for nothing, but I can actually go with Glacial Fortress here and just play Gift of Paradise. And we'll put it on Glacial Fortress, I guess. I'm just thinking about the cards, the lands that will get field ruined, potentially. Oh, is my opponent going to counter this? Lol. Okay. Go you, opponent. Go you. Okay, well, Sunpetal Grove, and yeah, we're just doing end-step Chemisters. Usually not playing anything inspires your opponent to play something. Doing it on their end step, they might want to spell pierce my Chemisters or something like that. Since they want to counter Gift of Paradise, then surely they'll want to counter card draw. And then we can get Teferi down, which locks out card draw altogether. Alright, they let it go. For the record, countering card draw is nearly always incorrect. There are a few occasions when you should, but not many. Alright, let's do Sunpetal Grove. Guess maybe I should put it on the Glacial Fortress. I don't know. My opponent's really interested in countering this, so good for them. They're not, though. Alright. Tap land, go. Yeah, counter magic decks are a little bit of a problem for us, and that's why I've kind of put Teferi into the deck so that we can't be countered. Or at least this, at the very least, baits out counter spells before we go for the win. So, there's an Enigma Drake. And we basically can bounce the Enigma Drake to draw a card. And our opponent's forced to shock our Teferi. I'm not sure if that's really the ideal scenario. We could just tick him up and hope for the best, but I think if they've got Lightning Strike or Shock, they're going to pretty much kill him anyway. So I think we'll just do the Teferi minus.
Trust me. You'll thank me later.
Make them have the answer. And with the amount of board wipes we've got in hand, to be honest, creatures are not the answer. Let's do Chemist's Insight? Yeah, Chemist's. Discovery Dispersal, and another Chemist's. Okay. Gonna play Enigma Drake. And we'll want to answer that with a board wipe. Another Teferi. Okay. So we absolutely can wipe the board here. And then we get to even do Discovery Dispersal, which is going to be pretty nice. Our opponent can't respond with negates because we've locked them out because of Teferi. This is why Teferi is growing on me, because he actually allows us to do degenerate stuff, and I like degenerate things. I'm going to keep Masterminds and the land. We haven't played our land this turn, I don't think. Nope. So I get my land drop for the turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can cast everything except for Omniscience in our deck right now. Opponent looks to be spending burn on Teferi, perhaps? No. Just after placing something on the board. I could Nova again. I'm not sure if that's necessarily the correct answer. We could settle instead. If they're going to kill Teferi here, then alright, it's Teferi minus on Crackling Drake. This is perfectly fine. Of course they get to redraw, but it shouldn't really matter for us. Land, please.
I am not making this up as I go.
More Teferis. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I could get 1,000-Year Storm down, and then we could do like Chemisters plus Masterminds, get 2 cards. That might be quite nice. Yeah, I think I'll go for 1,000-Year Storm. We got 1 in my deck and 1 in the sideboard. I don't think I want to draw any additional ones. So let's go into the main and grab my 1,000-Year Storm. Okay, and if Teferi sticks around, then they won't be able to respond to this, so it will resolve. And red-blue, other than bounce, doesn't have an answer to enchantments as well, so it's going to be really nice to get that to stick. Assuming they're going to spend 4 mana for another Crackling Drake, which leaves them with about 4 mana or so if they've got their land drop to play with. But, as we mentioned, they can't counter unless they deal with Teferi, so it's going to cost them at least 1 more mana. So we could do Teferi as a bait if the other Teferi dies into 1,000-Year Storm. And they just got Enigma Drake, so no problems there. So take up Teferi. Play
like
1,000-Year Storm now. What do we wipe now? We could do wipe and card draw. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're 1 land off of Omniscience. I think we want to go 1,000-Year Storm. Can lose Teferi, I think. So we'll just play another Teferi. They'll counter that. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That leaves me with only 6, potentially 7 mana, which is not enough for double spell activations. I think it has to be Cleansing Nova here, honestly. Destroy all creatures. And just go with the Chemist's Insight. We've got 3 Chemist's in our yard, so we have enough to trigger 1,000-Year Storm. Ooh, Overflowing Insight. That's a good one. That is a good one. Gutter Snipe, don't care. Enigma Drake, don't care. Alright. So, 1,000-Year Storm. Good stuff, we got that down now. And let's just tick up to Fairy. Have Settle the Wreckage open for their creatures, which they can't respond to. And next turn we should hopefully win. We got enough to at least fill up our hand full of really degenerate cards with the Mastermind's acquisition. We need to find Omniscience. Maybe I should have actually grabbed that over to Fairy, but I think having the Uncounter ability is also quite important, especially to get down Omniscience. So, all at Teferi, all getting settled. Oh yeah, good stuff. So we have a bounce with Teferi, but it opens us up. I don't think it's going to really matter though. Electrostatic Fields, yeah, okay, it's a very interesting deck. It's Drakes with a little bit of Spell Slinging Burn attached to it, which is cool. Opponent's tapped out. That's the best time for Omniscience right now. We got Cleansing Nova instead. Okay, so tick up to Fairy.
This might be a bad idea.
Might be a bad idea. I don't think so, Teferi. I think you're all good. We're not going to need Overflowing Insight, I don't think, because we're going to be tutoring. We'll go into the main for Omniscience. And we could replace with another acquisition. I do actually kind of want Overflowing Insight, though, for Omniscience purposes. It fills up our hand and allows us to storm off. So I think what we're going to do is Chemisters, discard Nova, because the board isn't that scary right now. Get Lantern and a land. That's not too bad. So we can play Lantern, Masterminds into the main, double trigger. We get Omniscience with one, and I think Mastermind's acquisition with the other, although we can draw basically our entire deck. 7, 14, 21 cards. 21 out of 30. If we hit Masterminds that way, we're all good. We have lots of card draw to get us there as well. Well, I say lots of card draw. We only have 3 discoveries, another Overflowing Insight, which is going to mill us to death. Maybe I do actually just go for the other Masterminds. Yeah, I think it's probably for the best. And then tap land go. I guess we have the Chemisters in our graveyard as well, but we're not going to have the mana for that, because Omniscience says you can only cast things for free from your hand. So jumpstart cards you still have to pay full price for. So now we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 mana. So we've got 2 mana remaining. Callous Dismissal onto Fairy. Yeah, you see, this is a problem, because now I actually have to play to Fairy to avoid getting countered. So a land drop off the top is the answer. Because no doubt my opponent's... And blink of an eye, okay. Resetting our board, but we're not that far behind anyway. So this is going to be an easy rebuild. Oh, there was the land as well. So actually, no, that's actually a good thing. We go to Fairy, opponent counters, they run out of mana. Yep. Alright, we win. Take 1, Teferi gets countered, So he might as well have just stopped counter spells altogether. Play Omniscience, everything is free. Play that for free. Play Teferi for free. Opponent scooped it up. Yeah, we draw 7 cards from our deck, which is probably lots and lots of fun stuff, including mana generation, so we can cast those Chemists out of our graveyard to increase the storm count. Masterminds goes into the side. We take all of our sideboard cards, which includes like Star of Extinction to wipe our opponent's lands, Unmoored Ego to take any possible threat that they might have left, and things like that. We can basically use Overflowing Insight as well to mill them, so yeah, there's 19 different ways we can win from that point forward, so yeah, it was just a matter of time. Our opponent wasn't in the mood to see it in play, so pretty sweet. Alright guys, thanks very much for watching today's episode. I hope you all enjoyed this one. It was a hell of a lot of fun to try and pull off, especially when people scoop. It's one of those kind of decks where it does its fun thing as long as your opponent doesn't leave, so pretty hard to pull off on camera, so hopefully you guys enjoyed the footage I did manage to gain for this one. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe as well for some more Mana Burn in the future. Hopefully we'll be back, I think probably by the next set coming out. Will probably be when the next Mana Burn list comes up, just so we can have some inspiration. Got a few ideas lined up anyway, but yeah, hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell icon as well, and that'll give you notifications when videos like this go live in the future. I hope you've all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.